Hi everyone, welcome to the July 13th Agent Sandbox meeting. I'm your host today, Janet. We have a few announcement and discussion topic. The first announcement is that we have 0.5.1 release published. Let me share the meeting notes in the chat so the group can follow along. So this release comes with a bunch of improvement. The major improvement is the reconciler performance optimizations. So you can give it a try. But I also have a warning. We found a known issue for upgrading to 0.50 and 5.1. There is a race condition when the status is being wiped, so it will affect the warm started VIMs. It will be incorrectly identified as cold started VIM. So please be mindful of this issue, and if you think you're going to be affected, then you can wait until we release the next version 0.5.2, which is coming this week. We expect to fix that issue in this release. All right, and coming back to the discussion topic, I was hoping Shruti is going to be here to talk about the auto pause and resume. Shruti, are you here?
Yes.
And would you like to talk about auto suspend and resume design?
Yeah. So currently, like we are trying to add a new sandbox gateway. So that would be like the main interception point. So whenever any network traffic comes, it would pass through the gateway. So as soon as there is any network interception, we will resume a suspended sandbox. And then the other component, apart from gateway, is a suspension controller, which basically detects idleness based on some idleness rules we will define in the sandbox CRD. Currently, we made a very high level design, so I'm in the process of POCing the sandbox gateway component. Initially, I was thinking we will basically create the gateway via the deployment, but apparently GKE has its own GKE gateway, and I was reading they also have this concept of traffic extensions and call out service, which we can use to basically like use all the existing functionality, whatever is exposed in gateway, rather than reinventing the wheel with our own custom logic. So this design will be very much in POC. I'm planning to implement the gateway component in this week, and we'll see how if we can actually utilize the gateway way of doing things, because as part of like the new gateway component, what we are planning to do is track the activity. So whenever any sandbox comes into the sandbox activity happens, we need to track the time. So I'm trying to see if we can use the call out service, which is a additional feature in GK Gateway, which lets you do that. So my focus would be that, and refine the design further based on the POC.
So for this, you're using the Kubernetes Gateway API, right? So I expect it to work with other gateway controller implementations as well.
Yes. Yeah, so GK Gateway is new for me, so I'm going to implement this just as a POC. Like the most basic POC would be keep a sandbox suspended, introduce that gateway, and then make sure like it resumes as soon as a network interception happens. Then there are other components after that where we have to implement the idle detection system. So that we will, I'll do after we are done with the GK gateway component part. Yes.
Any questions or feedback about that design? You
Go ahead, Lior.
think you're talking on mute, or you might need to configure your mic. I think he just dropped. He probably need to rejoin.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So just a note, like, so as I heard from Shruti, there is going to be a call out service, right? Which I assume is like in order to understand what you want to resume. So there is technically not a way in Gateway API, like not as an extension, a vendor specific extension to do the call out. So I assume it's going to work with any envoy specific gateway, which is fine. It's just that there's going to need to be a specific API that is that extension.
Yes. Primarily, like the main idea or the additional stuff which we want to do along with the standard gateway functionality is track the activity time. So I was just reading that if we want to build any custom business logic into that gateway, call out service is the way to do it. This is just like my high level research. I need to like dig deeper this week to see if it's even feasible.
Oh, that's a good research. Definitely, I think that's the direction. It's just that now configuring the gateway to send the call out. So all the logic will be configured in the call out server, right? But configuring the gateway to even send the call out
Mhm.
is something that's not yet standardized. But like there is vendor API to doing that, whether GK or other vendors. But so yeah, it's probably something you're gonna run into.
Yeah, yeah. I've once it's ready, I'll most likely send a PR with the way with the GK gateway way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this feature should be opt-in. So if users they are not using auto suspend resume, they shouldn't have to use the gateway.
Oh, someone asked why not implementing this logic in the router? Yeah, you're right. We are going to expand the router functionality. So the reason is we want more behaviors than just what the router currently does. We also need some form of like rate limiting and like TLS authentication, because of which we have decided to move away from router to gateway. Um and the initial router was written in Python, so I think there is a PR right now for Go router. But the idea is to completely replace the router with the gateway. Does that answer your question, Emmanuel? Yeah. Yes, Justin.
I mean, I think that we would use the gateway API. I don't think that
Mhm.
precludes us from implementing the gateway API in Python or Go or Rust or whatever it might be, right? Like we're trying to decide the API that describes the functionality rather than we're not
Yes.
requiring that it always be this particular implementation.
Yeah, like any the component should be able to track the activity of the sandboxes, and second, it should also like buffer the traffic requests as and when it comes. So any component which should be able to do that will suffice.
Any other questions or comments? All right. So after we you have a POC, we can share that with the community for more concrete feedback. And I think next one is about suspend, resume, and snapshot plus snapshot support. I think Shruti started a proposal, and then Ryan picked it up. I'm not sure if Ryan is on the call. Maybe he's not. But basically, Ryan picked it up. He added a second option for the API design. The original design is that we introduce a snapshot provider, CRD, and then Ryan's proposal is that we do something similar to DRA. We have a snapshot class plus claim, using a similar design pattern for specifying the um, the snapshot of different providers. Is there anything that you want to add, Shruti? Even that you started the original proposal.
No, I actually really like the idea. I think, again, we need to also POC this. Because the CRD way is relatively easy. And I personally also don't support option A because you need to enumerate like all the configuration details you want to support. So option B is like very generic, but it introduces a bunch of new CRDs in Agent Sandbox.
Yeah, the Agent Sandbox CRD design is also similar to the DRA or other things like storage. We use a template plus claim pattern, which is well adopted.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like option B. I think like I wanted to check with Ryan if he has done some form of POC to make sure like it will, like if we can like scale this in production first.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there are other snapshot provider other than the GKPOP snapshot. Does anyone know if there are other types of snapshot provider that can be used with suspend and resume? Justin, you have a hand. Is it a stale hand? Okay. Yeah. I think I tried to.
Oh,
Hyan, go ahead.
I think there is the OSS cap. There's a work group looking into the pod snapshot and resume, but that one currently they're still in the very early stage. They just assume the snapshot is stored locally on the node. They have not really looked into how to store the snapshot in a remote like a cloud storage solution. That's as far as I understand.
Yeah, they called it checkpointing.
Yeah. They call checkpointing. Currently, the location when you restore the location is just a local location on the node. It's not from like GCS or anything. They have not really looked into that far yet.
Yeah, so you can imagine if we that might not need a class because that's local to the cluster, not specific to the provider. So maybe it will be something like a default mode.
Yeah, but I also assume it's just they have not get there yet because their cap is also very complex. They need to reduce the complexity. So for stage one, they do that. But in the long run, performance is the issue. They may need to look into like some more advanced solution, like what a GK pod snapshot does.
Yeah. All right. So this one we'll need to do POC as well. And I think that's the discussion topic I have today. Does anyone else have? Oh, Andre?
Yeah, I have just a quick question for the snapshot class. So I think we discussed this before, but the goal would be to, so once Kubernetes, has this upstream checkpoint restore API, have a provider specific to that API to support, Kubernetes native checkpoint restore capabilities.
Sorry, is that a question?
Yeah. I think I'm asking in terms of the, future integrations, right? With the checkpoint restore API for the snapshot class. If I remember correctly, previously we discussed that we're going to have a specific provider to integrate with this upstream API. I was wondering if we change anything on this cap. I didn't get a chance to take a look in the recent changes.
So this cap doesn't, I don't think we discussed uh, the checkpoint, the upstream checkpoint restore feature in this cap. And feel free to correct me, Shruti. Then I can imagine it will be similar to the runtime class, that there will be a default class for what's default in Kubernetes if we
Yeah,
have that implemented.
yeah. Can we enumerate like what's the upstream work going on? Because this was made just for like GKE pod snapshot integration with Agent Sandbox in mind.
Yeah, I guess they have a pending PR as part of 1.36, right? Actually 37 release of Cube. So I think they're going to introduce a new pod checkpoint API there. And this again, like it's not specific to GKE on their front, right? As Janet said. I can link the PR if you're interested to take a look.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, we were trying to do the design after that's implemented, but that's taking a while to finish. So we started the design. Yeah, I think this is the upstream PR or the proposal. Any other question about this one?
I do have a question. So, it's mostly for Shruti. Does this mean that we want to change how the GKE extension suspend and resume works, like stop using the GKE pod snapshot CRDs, or this is just a more friendly way of calling GKE pod snapshot CRDs?
Yeah, it's just a way. Currently, we already support this at a client level. So if we install the pod extensions, pod snapshot extensions, we are already able to create the GK pod snapshot CRDs and stuff. But we are not able to do it currently via the controller way or the direct YAML way. So this is just providing a support to do that in the controller.
I see. Well, the GKE pod snapshot dependency will still be there. We're not replacing its functionality with this new thing, right?
It's one of the dependencies that we know of. So we are trying to make it more generic. So GK Pop Snapshot is one of the types of providers we know of, which we are building this snapshot class against of right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, we don't want the API to be specific to any cloud. It should be extensible and pluggable. Kingsley.
Yeah, actually, question Max. Since we have a customer is kind of waiting for that to lower the TCO, so I wonder if that work has a dependency on this, what kind of timeline are we looking for?
I could not hear that, Tinsley. Can you repeat it once more?
You're
So
breaking up a little bit.
okay. My question is, we have customers want to use leveraging the auto-suspended receive to reduce the TC level. So I wonder that work stream and this work stream, do they have dependency? And what kind of timeline are we looking for? Can you hear me?
Oh, I think I understood. Like, are you saying like the snapshot work has a dependency on auto suspend resume work?
Yes, for the open cloud integration.
Well, right now, suspend and resume, all it does is terminate the pod and recreate the pod. Once we integrate the snapshot, then we are able to like checkpoint it and then and then basically like reload the pod. But the auto suspend and resume design is created with the snapshot class design in mind too. So I think Janet's KEP also talks about that snapshot KEP is one of the dependency. Janet, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's one of the dependency for it to really work end to end for the real use case.
Okay, gotcha. So, what kind of timeline are we looking for? Because I think we are, there's a few other competitors that can have much lower TCO, so it will be critical for us to keep pace with these competitors.
I think we can discuss that separately. Maybe.
Okay, sounds good. We can
Yeah.
discuss offline. Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone or topic from anyone? I think we can end the call. Thanks everyone for joining today. See you next time.